Hello there, and welcome back to Strength and Conditioning with Para Rowing Foundation. I'm with Jen again today. Hi Jen, thanks for joining. And today we have a nice mix of some anti-rotational and rotational work for that core, as well as some great shoulder work as always. So when you're ready, find a comfortable seated position. You'll just need a band today, anchored at about doorknob height would be great. So get yourself situated and let's warm up. We'll start with our regular warm up. So elevation depression. Inhale, lift those shoulders up towards the ears. And then exhale, drop them away. Yes. Really think about building the tension as you inhale. Build it, build it, build it. Yes, more. And then as you drop, pull from the armpits. Find that melting sensation. Nice. Inhale, you're like a turtle going into your shell. Exhale, there's something delicious out there. Find it to eat. Yes, my in-laws own a lot of turtles. They particularly are fond of watermelon, in case anyone was curious. So we're really thinking about, as we drop those shoulders down, we're pulling the shell away from ourselves and getting nice and long into the neck. Last one. Hold it up and exhale, drop down. Leave the shoulders slightly depressed. Yeah, let's give ourselves a little cervical rotation in between. Just look over your right shoulder, come back to center, left shoulder, back to center. One more time in each direction. And if you ever find yourself in an exercise building a lot of tension in your neck, just take a second and look over opposite shoulders to make sure that you're not locked in to that forward position. All right, hands straight out in front of you for our protraction and retraction. So we're going to inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades behind you. Yes, and then exhale, press the shoulders wide. So as we inhale, we're sliding the shoulder blades around the back of the spine. And then as we exhale, we're pressing the shoulder blades towards the armpits. Yes. Inhaling, opening the collarbones. Exhaling, pulling towards east and west. Let's take two more. Think about your hands right on a tabletop. So we're just sliding in a horizontal plane. That whole arm stays nice and parallel to the floor below you. Last one, squeeze those shoulder blades back. Can we get tall out of the neck as well? And then press those hands forward one more time. And then come to a nice neutral position. Feel that the shoulder blades are just kind of stuck on your spine behind you. And we're going to do our shoulder cars, controlled articular rotations, one side at a time. So start with your right hand up towards the ceiling. Palm is facing towards the front of the room. We're going to sweep the hand out to the side. Come into your T arm. Flip the palm so that it's facing back. And now you sweep the thumb up behind the spine. Find that nice open in the chest. Good, let's go over again. So now we drive back to that T arm. Palm flips, reach up to the ceiling, and then let's bend the elbow, bring the hand behind the head. Nice. Let's do two more on this side. Because afterwards, once we've done both sides, I'm gonna make you think a little bit. It's good for you, I swear. We do everything so symmetrically in sculling, but when you think about it, we don't really do anything symmetrically most of the day long. I think about the way I sit on the couch, and I wonder why my left shoulder hurts. It's because your head is craned to the TV, Steph. No wonder. And then draw that thumb up the back. All right, last time, release it out to the side, flip that palm forward, reach up, pretend like you're gonna shave your ponytail off, and then just release that hand down to your side. All right, left hand comes behind the head. Good. Find that nice open elbow. So then push your elbow towards the wall behind you. Yes. And now we reach up towards the ceiling. Find that long T arm as we rotate from the shoulder to bring the palm back. And then thumb travels up the spine. And again, take a second here. It should feel kind of nice to get that little bit of the stretch into the shoulder. And then take the hand back out to the side. Flip the palm forward. Bring it up. Shave off that ponytail. Don't actually do it. Salons are open now. No need for desperate measures. and then up the back. Nice job. And even though we're working that nice shoulder mobility, still start to just think about linking your breath to your movement. So I don't really care where you inhale and exhale during this particular exercise, but make sure that you are breathing. If anyone's turning red, that's a bad sign. All right, last time on the way up, we come, rotate from the shoulder, drive behind the head, leave the left hand there. Take your right hand behind your back. So now we're in our starting and stopping positions. We're gonna do that same exact position, that same exact exercise, but now we have to coordinate. So both hands lift away and sweep out to your T arms. Palms flip in opposite directions, and then we reach the right hand behind the head, the left hand behind the back. Nice, good. We're just gonna do about 4 more of these. Coming out to your T arms, thinking coordinate, making that movement almost like a mirror image if you were looking down into a pool of water, right? So you're seeing what's happening on either side happen at the same time. Good. And as we continue to warm up that shoulder joint, maybe you'll notice that that back hand is able to sneak up that spine a little bit more without forcing it. And last one. Hold it for just a moment and then release your hands down. All right, shoulders should be feeling nice and warm, but we're gonna do one more for them, because why not? So we do opera singers. So bring your hands together right in front of your chest, as if you were going to sing opera. Sound effects are optional, but encouraged. All right, from here, I want you to think about pulling your hands apart from each other as hard as you can without actually letting go of your hands. Now that you have that tension built in between your arms, I'm vibrating. That's how much you should be pulling apart. We're gonna pretend that we're going for a little kayak. So drop your left elbow down and then your right elbow. Yes, keeping that tension between your hands the whole time. You should really be starting to feel a nice burn here. If you don't, pull your hands apart harder. You should have little fingernail marks in your hands by the end of this. All right, one more. And then back to center. Release the hands if you can. They might be just glued like that. And then switch your palms so that we have the opposite hand on top. Same thing. Start by pulling the hands apart. Think nice open chest. And now we do a little kayak, a little dip to side to side. Yes. Good. Feeling that it might be a little bit different with one hand on the top. Think about really guiding it with the top elbow. So we swing it up and over for 3. Last 2. 1. Center and release. Let's take 3 shoulder rolls. Just release any tension that we've built up because we are about to go to work. So for our first set today, we're going to be lying on our back, supine, with our band in line with our shoulder. So we usually start facing it or facing away from it. We're going to face sideways to our band, all right? So get yourself lying down, band level with your shoulders. Always feel free to stick a foam roller or a pillow underneath those knees to support the low back. And you're going to get your band so that it's right up above your shoulders. Yes. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of core work. So scoot yourself away from the band so you have a little bit of tension on it or choke up on the band, all right? Because I want you to feel that the band wants to pull your hand away, but resist it. Make sure that the hand is straight up to the ceiling. Now, on an exhale, we're going to come into our chest lift. So we peel head, neck, and shoulders up and off the mat. Fingertips lift up towards the ceiling. Yes. Inhale, release it back down. Good. Exhale, lift. Blowing all of that air out of the lungs. Inhale, release back down. Good. Now, as we're doing this, what I'd like you to feel is that with this band in this position, again, the band is wanting to pull you towards the anchor point. So I want you to have enough tension that you feel the top right side of your obliques, your side abs, working to make sure that you avoid that rotation, that you resist that rotation. Good. Everyone's thinking, I have an apple underneath my chin, so as you come up, please don't make me apple juice. Last two. This one I do care about where you breathe. So it's exhale as we lift. Use the pressure of the breath to blow out the space between the intercostals. Last one. And then draw back down. Rest the head for a moment. All right. Flip the fingers so they're facing one another and soften the elbows a little bit so that you have like a basketball hoop with your arms. All right, again, choke up on the band if you need to. I need a little more tension for this one. So we're gonna do our hug a tree. So when you're ready, we exhale, lift up into that chest lift and hold. Or if you can't do the chest lift, just rest your head. Now, we inhale, open the arms just a foot or two, and then exhale, draw those fingertips together. Yes, as we inhale, we feel that pressure lift a little bit. As we exhale, draw those ribs closer together in the front of your body. Nice job. Again, if you feel too much tension in your neck, look over the shoulders. That's okay. That cervical rotation gives you just a little bit of a release. Make sure that we're focusing that tension into the correct area, which is those top abdominals as well as our pecs, since we're drawing across our chest. Last two. Exhale, one, and release it down. Take a quick break. All right, bring your hand that doesn't have the band in it out to the side, slightly below your shoulder. So you have a little bit of a kickstand here. All right, the opposite hand stays in like that little bit of a bent shape, so tiny little hug a tree. We're gonna exhale, lift up into your chest lift and cross over the body. Think about reaching the band towards your opposite hand. And then release everything down to center. Good. Exhale, lift up, curl, crunch it in. And then lower everything back down. Nice. Use that bottom hand if you need it to give you a little bit of support into that lift. We should again feel this right in those top obliques. A little bit more into the left side now, since we're now adding rotation rather than resisting rotation. Let's take three more. Exhale, lift, squeeze. Last two. On our last one, we are going to hold it up. So everyone find that high point, hold, take just a tiny pulse to the side. Just think arm over, just a little bit every time. Good. Push with the abs. Think push the ribs back towards one another. For 3, 2, 1, and release it down. All right, we deserve a stretch after that. So we're going to take our book openers, which we've done before, but this time you're going to keep your band in your hand. So bring the hands together, shoulders stacked, hips stacked. Use a foam roller under that top knee if you need it. And from here, you're going to allow the band to help guide the arm up and over. The tension will release a little bit as you bring it over and look over the fingertips. Good. And then we exhale, close it back up. Feeling a little bit of work in the shoulder since we do have that banded tension. Inhale. Open up and around. Feel that nice spiral in the mid-back and allow it to extend up through that cervical spine. If you're tight like me, you probably feel a little stretch in the chest as you come up and over and start to allow that hand to come down towards the mat. Let's take one more. Close it up like you're reading a really big book and you are the book. And then we open the pages, flip the whole book open, and now we're all open books. Hold here for just a moment. See if you can release that mid-back just a little bit more. And then go ahead and just release the band right there. Come back to your center. And then since we're here, we're gonna pop up for a side plank. So find your side plank position, all right? Remember, you can go with some support underneath the ribs or without, whatever feels best for you. But make sure that that elbow is right underneath the shoulder, all right? Everyone think about pressing the shoulder strong away from the ear, like you're trying to hold your mat down into the floor below you. Good. Lift up into those bottoms obliques as much as you can. Nice. And then from here, we're gonna do a little bit of neck work. So we're holding that strong side plank the whole time. You're just gonna drop your ear towards your bottom shoulder, and then use these neck muscles on the top to lift back up. Good. So we drop it down, and then lift back into position. Yes. So for as tight as we all are in the tops of our shoulders, right, our neck muscles are actually pretty underutilized. So these muscles largely get bypassed in favor of our traps, right? Because we all know that these muscles on the tops of our shoulders hurt like the dickens. I don't know why I just became a 70-year-old woman, but I sure did. All right, last two. Feel that nice controlled movement as we lift. Keep just a tiny depression in the chin, so you're thinking a dainty double chin as you come up. Nice. And then release it down. You can release your side plank. Now we're going to flip onto our backs, all right? And this time we are facing our anchor point. So you can hold on to both handles now, or both sides of your band. You're going to be lying down on your back, all right? And for this one, you want a little bit less tension. So I'm holding towards the end of my band. Once you're in that nice lying position, we're just going to start with a bicep curl. So palms are facing up towards the ceiling. We exhale, curl in towards the shoulders. And then inhale, release. Good. Now, as you exhale and curl, I want you to try to feel that the shoulder blades stay nice and stuck to that mat below you. So we're not allowing things to lift and curl up, right? We're keeping the back nice and wide and the collarbones open, isolating just from that elbow joint. Speaking of joints that aren't moving, let's make sure that those wrists aren't bending exorbitantly either. They might need a little bit of a bend depending on the type of band you're using, but we don't want to initiate with the wrists. Right from that elbow. Good. Squeeze into those t-shirt muscles. Imagine you're the Incredible Hulk and you're gonna bust right out of your t-shirt. All right, now on this next one, we're gonna add a shoulder press. So we curl it in bicep curl. Then we're going to punch our knuckles up and overhead. Bring it back to your bicep curl and release it all the way down. Good. So it's curl and press on your exhale. Draw it back down on your inhale. Nice. As you press up and overhead, that exhale is important so that we don't start popping our ribs like crazy. So we don't want to start arching the back a ton. So use that core work that we established in the first set to try to keep those ribs drawing together like a Chinese finger trap. They never get looser. They just get tighter. Let's take two more. Exhale, pull and press. That's right. Last one. Rest down when you're down. Take just a little release. Make sure that we don't have any tension in that neck. Rock side to side. And now on this next one, we're going to curl in. Leave your left hand curled. So we isometrically hold that left bicep. The right hand is going to press up and then return to the bicep. So we don't release all the way now. We're just holding the bicep curl with the left hand. And the right arm is rotating and pressing into that overhead position. Now that we're working unilaterally, you'll probably feel the shoulders want to start to rock a little bit side to side. Try to use that exhale to create even pressure through both sides of the rib cage. Last 2. On 1, bring the right hand down, hold the curl. Good. Now the left arm presses up and then draw it back down. Next, exhale, punching knuckles towards the wall behind you. Inhale, return. Whew. And since we did that isometric hold on the left side first, it should feel a little bit more toasty here. So really try to cue down into those lats, even though it's an overhead movement. Use those muscles below the armpit to think about pushing the arm up and up. Good. Let's take 2 more. Last 1. And then pull the arms in and release that bicep curl. Oh, nice job. All right, 3 more exercises while we're in this position. Palms face down towards the mat below you. Think about reaching your fingers long towards the center of the room so that the shoulders drop away from the ears. Oh, there's that turtle again. Search for your watermelon. As you exhale, we're going to draw the hands up towards the ceiling so that the hands are right over the shoulders. And then inhale, release it down. Good. Exhale, press up. And then inhale, release. Good. So if you've been doing a lot of these videos, you'll know that often we do this type of an exercise with our head facing towards the anchor point, which works a little bit more into the lats. With the band anchored the way it is, we are targeting the deltoids, since those are our major movers of flexion in the shoulder. So as we extend up, feel it right on the tops of the shoulders. And as we pull down, the armpits help resist that banded tension. Last 2. Good. Make sure that we continue to reach the arms long in whichever direction the fingertips are pointing. And then on 1, hold the hands down by the hips. Now flip the palms so they're facing towards your hips. You should be able to cup your butt cheeks. And again, set the shoulders. Reach the fingertips away from your hips, like you're going to pass a basketball behind your butt cheeks there. As we exhale, make a little snow angel. Arms come out to the sides. Inhale, release back out. Good. So it's exhale, lift it up. Inhale, draw back down. Good. And what I like to picture here, as we're doing this, is that you are a bat, all right? And you know bat wings, they're not like bird wings. The bat wings have distinct connections, so they only stretch to a certain point. So I want you to picture that you're unfolding your bat wings, and right at that shoulder height, that's the last bit of stretch that your bat wings have. And then we're controlling it and folding the wings back into the sides. Let's take 3 more. Building those nice, strong side body muscles. On your last 1, we're going to hold the hands into the hips. Now, we're going to combine those 2 exercises, little coordination challenge. So one hand is going to lift up to the ceiling. I'm going to use my left hand. And my right hand is going to bat wing. So one hand reaches up and one hand reaches out. Then both hands come back to the hips. Opposite side. My right hand reaches up to the ceiling and my left hand reaches out. Good. Alternate sides. Sometimes these are called cheerleader arms. Woo! Go team. All right. But what I want you to think about is that even though we're moving in opposite directions, we're still reaching our stopping point at the same time. So we're not allowing one exercise to become the focus, right? We're using both arms equally in separate directions and finding that stopping point at the same time. Let's take 2 more in each direction. Don't lose that length of the arm. From the shoulder to the fist is like the radius of a circle. And you're trying to get that radius to be as long as you possibly can get it. Last one on each side. And then once you've finished your final repetition, we're going to draw the hands to the hips, release the band for a moment, because we have to flip around to do the whole thing, not that whole thing, the first thing on the opposite side. So now we face in the opposite direction. I hope everyone enjoys my bun today, because that's what you get to look at. And you're going to lay down on your back. The opposite hand, for me, that's my left hand, is going to hold on to the end of the band. And then your right hand, or your hand that's free, reaches up to the ceiling. So both hands are reaching up to the ceiling. Make sure you have a little bit of tension. To start out with, we're just doing our regular chest lift. So we make sure that we don't get pulled by the band. Exhale, lift up head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale, lower it down. Now, as you exhale, make sure those shoulders don't start to creep up towards the ears. Keep that nice swan-like neck. Exhale, blow all of the air out. I want you to pretend like you're deflating balloons right in your abdominal cavity. And to make that exhale work for the muscles, you really do want to think about forcing the air out a little bit. So if you had a birthday cake, and if you're anywhere over like the age of 12, all of a sudden all of those candles become a lot to blow out. So as you exhale, think about blowing out as many candles as would be on your birthday cake. Last two. Make sure we're resisting that band. We're using those left obliques now. Last one. We rest the head for a moment. Flip the fingertips so they're pointing towards one another. Soften those elbows a little bit. We're going to go for our hug a tree, side facing. So exhale, lift up head, neck, and shoulders. Hold the chest lift if you can. We open the arms up, maybe a foot. And then exhale, squeeze the fingertips together. Good. Choke up on the band if after a foot you completely lose your tension. Because as we exhale and draw those fingertips together, you want to feel that those left obliques are fighting, fighting, fighting to make sure that those fingertips end up right in front of that breastbone. Make sure that that hand that is free is still carrying your own internal tension. So we're not just letting it flop around. Pretend that it has a band attached to it as well. Let's take two more. Keep driving those ribs down and together. Last one. And then rest the head for a moment. Your opposite hand with no band comes out to the side in your T arm, slightly below your shoulder. Left hand reaches up to the ceiling, and then we exhale, lift into your chest lift, and then cross the body as though you want to bring your left hand to the top of your right hand. And then release everything down. Good. Exhale, lift it up, cross the body as much as you possibly can, and then release it back down. Good. As we lift, look over towards the right fingertips, getting that oblique rotation with the head as well as with the chest. We've got three more. Keep working that exhale. Blow those balloons out in your thoracic cavity. Press into that hand if you need that support. On our last one, we're going to press it up and hold it. Hold it here. Reach a little further towards the opposite side of the room. Tiny pulse. Just cinch it in. Little bit. Tiny bit more. Pull that left armpit towards the bottom hip. For 3, 2, and 1. Release it down. Whew, nice job. All right, now we get our little stretch and release. So roll so you're facing away from your band. We come into our book opener here. So set yourself up, shoulders are stacked, hips are stacked, hands are out in front of you. As you inhale, the top arm reaches up and open like you're drawing a rainbow. And then come all the way back, get that little stretch across the chest. And then exhale, draw that closed. Good. The nice thing with the band is that it guides you in that nice arc. The less nice part is that you do actually have to do a little bit of work when we then have to come back to bring the hands together. Exhale, draw the hands back into your book. We have 2 more. Inhale, open it up. Make sure that you're following that hand with your gaze. And exhale, draw it closed. Spine comes with the hand. Shoulders are now restacked. Last time. Once you get to your open point, stay there for a moment. Release across that chest. Release through the obliques that we made work so hard today. They're not done. We still have a side plank on this side. And then go ahead and release your band. And we're going to come up into our side plank on the side that you didn't do. So, find yourself in that sideline position, stacking those hips, stacking those shoulders. Make sure that that elbow's right underneath the shoulder. I know I say it every time, but a lot of times we want to set ourselves out really far for whatever reason. It makes it harder, people. All right, press into the bottom shoulder. Lift through those bottom obliques. If I was there in person, I would tickle everyone under their side butt to make sure they were engaged. All right, hand can rest, and now we're going to take our neck bends. Without losing that strength in the bottom shoulder, the ear comes down towards the shoulder, and then lift back to your neutral position. Good. Lower it down, and it should feel nice when you lower. You should get like a little stretch. You can think about reaching your hand further away from your ear, and then lift it back up. Good. Working into those neck muscles a little bit while we stabilize in that shoulder joint. Nice job. Let's take 2 more. Slow and controlled, because we don't want to bypass the neck muscles. We want to make it enough of a small range of motion that it goes right into that desired muscle group, which is just right along. If you had lizard gills, that's where this muscle would be. And then rest. All right, come to a comfortable seated position. I don't know why we were all like amphibians today, but indeed we were. All right, let's take a few neck stretches for real. So, left ear towards left shoulder. Take your right hand and slide it away from you. It doesn't have to be on the mat, but just reach it. Yes, and then that should really just intensify the stretch in an amazing way that you wouldn't think would. And then let's keep that hand reaching. Now take the chin, look down at your collarbone. It brings the stretch just a little further back into the neck. Now release the arm, bring the head back to center, opposite side. Right ear towards right shoulder. The left arm slides away. Find that little finger crawl so that you can extend into that stretch. Yes, we're moving away the ear and the fingertip. This might even go into your shoulder on certain sides. And then we're going to take that chin down towards the collarbone, moving that stretch into the back and side of the neck. Good. And then when you're ready, you release the hand, bring the head back up to center. Now we're going to tip the head back, and you're going to open and close your jaw 3 times. It's hard for me to talk when my head's back that, so I'm going to tell you about it now. So once the head is back, you open and close your jaw like a baby bird asking for food. Let's go. Tilt it back. Open and close 3 times. And then come back to your neutral position. So you should feel a little release in the front of the neck from that. One more time. Tilt your head back. Baby bird. And then draw it back to center. Let's take 3 shoulder rolls to wrap up. As big and slow as you can make them. Going reverse so that we can just go against some of that internal rotation that we do all day long. Last one. Lift up, find that tension, hold it, and then melt everything away. Keep your shoulders back for the rest of your day. And you guys are done for your session. I will see you next week. Thank you so much.